Full and uncut versions available on Patreon. Check in the description below.
Greetings once again, Pokemaniacs. Duuz-Diz-Din back again. Still in the process of moving. Sorry videos are taking a bit of a hit on this situation, but it really can't be helped. Regardless, we're back with the Pokemon Adventures manga, where previously, Gold is still on the hunt for Silver, but yet another encounter where they were forced to work together, as well as previous encounters, have continued to shape Gold's understanding of Silver, that he's not just a common thief. No, there's something more to the young man, but what is still up in the air. Gold has also come into several important individuals. Expiring Gym Leader Faulkner, a police officer who was assisting him with the Silver situation, the gym leader Bugsy, who avidly investigates a lot of Pokemon-related incidents, especially ones that have ended up coming into conflict with Team Rocket, who are now under new unknown management, and as well as the Pokeball crafter Kurt. But now Gold has ended up in Elix Forest and has come face to face with a mysterious masked man. What's this all about? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, the next volume, Silver getting front and center, and just because they're on the cover, Sneasel, get on up here, buddy. Honestly, I really do love Silver's entire team. Ursaring, Crocodile, Murkrow, good stuff. But let's jump in. That's a nice little cover page. I do love the fact that they're experimenting with how different trainers release their Pokeballs. Again, it's something you see in a lot of the sprite work for different trainers when you take them on, but you don't really get to see it in action, whether it be in the games or even in terms of the anime. People just chuck the balls and out come the Pokemon. The concept of a releasing style that can somehow, get Pokemon to certain distances or increase their velocity or their striking power or give some kind of advantage is very novel, and I kind of love it. Alright, Gold has been confronted by the masked man, who is flanked by a Houndour, an Ariados, a Delibird, and a Ghast. Fear races through Gold's face as he says, "This must be the guy who jumped us." Well, he thinks it. What does he mean, stay away from this forest? The only thing I know for sure is he's one high-level trainer as he looks towards his injured Pokemon. Seriously, creepy mask too. I could just skip out now, but I'd have to leave them behind, he says, looking at the young woodcutter and his downed Farfetch. I've got no choice. Gold, turned away, says to his Pokemon, "I'll never beat him. All I can do now is save myself. And if you believe that, you don't know me very well." He turns and chucks A-Palm towards the masked man, saying, "Abo, pull his mask off." In chapter 104, the Ariados up there. A-Palm goes in, just ripping at the masked man. This Gold says, "Go, Abo." And the masked man starts to shriek. Gold picks up the downed young man and tries to make an escape, saying, "I got him, Abo. Now let's get out of..." But he sees his path is blocked by the masked man's Pokemon. The masked man then says, "So we get to work then?" Gold questions what? The man says, "You'll do what he did. Keep intruders out of this fort." Gold says defiantly, "So I was right. You used Ghastly to control this guy and his Farfetch." The man says, "Of course." Gold gets angry, saying, "I don't know what you're up to here, but I don't like it. Who are you to decide who comes into this forest and who doesn't? What gives you the right to take control of another trainer's Pokemon? Not to mention taking control of their brain." That's a very Agatha move. The masked man says nothing, and Gold waits for retaliation. The man then says, "Brave kid, aren't you? Most people just run as fast as they can. To show my respect, here's a little gift." And Delibird goes over and hands Gold a present, which promptly explodes in his hands. Much to Gold's bewilderment, there's a sudden smoke screen, and as Gold coughs and hacks, he says, "Jerk!" Suddenly, his Pokemon are attacked. The masked man has Ghastly use Shadow Ball on Poliwag and tells Houndour to use Iron Tail on Sunkern. Gold shields himself, saying, Hey. Okay, Expo, it's all on you." And Cyndaquil gives a nod. The masked man says, "What's wrong, boy? You seem like the type who likes surprises." Huh? The masked man then notices the gold has disappeared into the mist and is completely gone now. The masked man says, what? Clever. Using Cyndaquil's smoke screen to blend into the smoke from the blast. But since my servant is programmed to follow him, and he hasn't reacted, the boy must still be close, which means he must be hiding in a tree. He then has Ariados fire out multiple lines of webs all across the floor. Gold, up in a tree with his Pokemon, thinks to himself, shoot, he knows. What now? Can't beat him in a straight-up battle. Gold pulls out his Pokedex, thinking, I just wish I knew what he was up to. Why is a guy with that kind of power hiding in a forest? Suddenly, the tree starts to shake. He looks down, seeing Delibird striking the trees, thinking, using Headbutt to shake the trees, and Spiderweb to catch me. How do I get out of this? Houndour headbutts another tree, the tree that Gold and his Pokemon are in. Gold slips from where he was hiding and hits the ground hard. But something catches the attention of the masked man as he turns, saying, light from the shrine? The shrine we saw earlier is glowing. The masked man says, forget the boy for now. You can't let this chance slip away. Oh, yeah, this is the forest where Celebi was supposed to be, which I think that was supposed to be like in the game, some kind of promotion that you had to, there was something special in order to get Celebi in the game. I never got around to doing any of that. But, and shoot, it had to do with the GS ball, right? I think. And that was even going to be a plot point in the anime, but for some reason they decided not to do it, which that will always be the worst decision. Because, like, dude, you made such a big deal out of the GS ball and then you did nothing with it? What? But, so he, much like with in the previous series or story arcs where they were hunting for Mew, which just went poof after a certain point. Everyone's hunting for a legendary, so this guy's hunting for Celebi, right? Oh, but Houndour then notices, and so does the masked man, Gold falling towards them. The masked man is shocked, saying, now, not now, Ariados, hold him. And as Ariados uses String Shot, they find that what they thought was Gold's jacket with a branch inside. Much to the shock of the masked man and Ariados, Gold leaps out with a sun curse, saying, got him with my trap. He fell for it. The masked man says, what? Gold, rushing him, says, give him a taste of Mega Oh, but before he can even finish, the masked man says, fool. And Ariados fires String from behind, starting to wrap up Gold. Gold says, String from its butt too? I was trying to not say it like that, but thank you, Gold. And as Gold is wrapped up, he shouts, shoot, as he's completely bound. But the masked man turns away, saying, leave him. Now leave him. The shrine is dark again. Another chance lost because of that fool. Once again, we wait. But as Gold struggles in his wrappings, he says, what's the big idea? You can't just bail in the middle of a battle. I demand you come back. Gold, buddy, you took a hard L here, bud, and I need you not to say stupid things like that. The masked man, looking down on Gold, both figuratively and literally, says, look, don't mind fighting, kid, but you're not nearly as good as that last punk I fought, the one with the crocodile. Oh, Silver. Just adding salt to the wound, huh? As the masked man turns and walks away, Gold gets even more angry, saying, oh yeah? Later, Apom unties Gold, and as he gets the string off of him, he says, thanks, Abo. That creep really knows how to push my buttons. He then picks up the boy's Farfetch, saying, anyway, we gotta hurry up and get these guys out of this creepy. But as he turns to his Pokemon, he sees them looking gloomy and dejected. He says, huh? What's with all the long faces? Don't tell me it's because he knocked us around. They all nod in agreement. He pets Apom, saying, hey, this fight isn't over. We're gonna get a rematch, and next time, every one of us is gonna be stronger. Pokemon cheer with excitement, and with his fist raised in the air, Gold says, we'll beat him next time, even if they outnumber us 10-1. He then takes off on his skateboard with the injured young man in the Farfetch, saying, and thinking, I promise you. Meanwhile, cut to the Pokemon Center. I think Gold is talking with Professor Elm, yeah, at the computer after he was bandaged up, with Elm saying, are you alright, Gold? Gold tells him, depends on your definition of alright. Elm then asks, how are the Pokemon and the trainer you rescued? Gold tells him, alive, but barely. Elm tells him, meanwhile, I analyzed the gold powder you scanned and sent to me. Oh, gold powder? Huh. Gold tells him, that stuff was all over Abo's tail. I think it was under the guy's cape. Why would it be gold powder? Elm says, it may be important. I'll let you know as soon as my chemical analysis is complete. In the meantime, I want you to be careful from here on out. But Gold thinks to himself, the kid with the crocodile he was talking about has got to be Silver. The Totodile must have evolved. That guy's not got nerves saying Silver's better than... Really? Right, he wasn't there for when Totodile evolved into crocodile. Right, you probably should tell Elm about that. Elm then says, Gold, are you listening? Gold says, huh? Oh, yeah, right. Careful. Meanwhile, Silver gets a call on his Pokegear. Person saying, Silver, new data. Silver says, oh, no, the person says, the kid came into contact with the masked man. It was in the forest in question. Afterward, light was seen emanating from the shrine, but the masked man failed to obtain the light. That's not green. No, it's a different kind of silhouette. I want you to keep up with your surveillance of the masked man. Silver responds, I'm on it. He's working with someone. I wonder, who could it be? On to the next chapter. Alright, we pick up in the Violet Gym. We see in a room labeled reserved for ceremony. Bill and the association he was with seemed to welcome Faulkner and his Pokemon. In chapter 105, Smeargle Smudge. As someone says, Faulkner, we now designate you the new leader of Violet Gym. Interesting to have it already happening. I guess is he going to stay a police officer, or did he tend his resignation, I wonder? I mean, I could see how him still being an officer could probably still help with things. I don't remember if he was a police officer in the game or anime. The chairman says, all right, Bill, we appointed this Faulkner fellow as you asked. Now you owe us. What a thing to say, making it sound like Faulkner didn't deserve the job. Bill gets angry saying, I told you, I'm trying to fix the dang Pokemon storage system. But if I can't even figure out why it broke, Faulkner interrupts saying, wait, please. I'm honored to have been given this post. I'd hate to think that my appointment has caused trouble within the Pokemon Association. If there's anything I can do to help, Bill nervously says, well, we sure do appreciate that, son, but none of this is your fault. Faulkner says, nonetheless. Bill says, we'll be fine. You just think about being a good gym leader. Another friend of mine's about to take the exam too. Oh, Red. Yeah, so he is going through with it. How does that factor into what we know happens with Blue? Interesting. Bill says, in between the two of you, well, we'll talk. Oh, it kind of sounds like he's about to be like, I mean, you're good, but you ain't no Red. Right now, we're in the middle of your installation ceremony. The chairman hands over something saying, Faulkner, one of the sacred responsibilities of the gym leader is to guard this, the Zephyr badge, which y'all make badges such a more important thing than both the games and the anime combined. Because it's like, oh, the gym badge. Like, the gym badge? The chairman says, trainers will soon be coming from all over to challenge you in your gym. You must test their abilities. You are to bestow this badge only on those whom you deem truly worthy. Which, I never think of the badges as anything that special, because it's just like, yeah, go to gyms, get a badge, move on. It's as simple as that. Shit, I think more highly of the gym leaders themselves than the badges. The chairman goes on saying, furthermore, blah, 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 blah. And Faulkner just turns away looking into the distance thinking, well, Gold, I passed using the Skarmory we captured together. I wish I knew how to find you now, or knew how you're doing at least. See, I love it when the gym leaders have a bit of a bond with our protagonists, because the capabilities of the gym leaders, like they're the higher levels of the land. One thing I'll always say, I love the way that Sword and Shield did their gym leaders, because by having a big tournament at the end, it just makes the gym leaders feel, I don't know, more interesting, more impactful. It shows this even higher degree of respect with the people cheering and being like, oh, the gym leaders. Oh no, they just feel more interesting. They cut to the outskirts of Goldenrod City, where Gold has approached with his Pokemon saying that city is really huge. As he looks in, Goldenrod is a good place. I always loved the area. And all those lights. Up here it's midnight. And down there it's as bright as noon. Country boy. He looks to his Pokegear, and I love the little map you got going on there. Yeah, oh yeah, shoot. There you go. Yeah, okay. Oh man. Like, seeing it just is jogging so many memories. He looks at his Pokegear and the map on it saying, It's supposed to be full of stores and game corners and everything. Too bad I've got no money. He shakes his little coin pouch. Which, that gets me, because I'm so used to going around battling as many trainers as possible and getting that money. The idea of having no money at this point is so foreign to me. It's just like, oh god, yeah, I guess you guys really don't go around challenging other trainers. We didn't have to worry about that so much with Red, because yeah, he's going around probably challenging trainers and get a little extra cash on the side. But Yellow, she's not one to go around challenging people. And Gold, he's too focused on Silver that, of course, his Pokemon are under-leveled. He's not really challenging them with anyone except for going after Silver and the weird shenanigans he tends to get in. Gold settles into his sleeping bag and yawns, saying, oh well, guess we can worry about that tomorrow. Good night, gang. And as he falls asleep, he doesn't notice that a Smeargle is approaching. Oh god, is it about to... Yeah, and a Smeargle promptly draws on Gold's face. Smeargle laughs up a storm, and Gold does wake up, noticing that he has paint all over his face. As he pulls out a mirror, he screams, waking up his Pokemon. He then turns his attention to the Smeargle, and as he wipes all the mess off of his face, he says, "What did you do that for? I'm supposed to go into Goldenrod City looking like this?" Smeargle bounds away, and Gold and his Pokemon give chase as Gold says, "It's heading for the city." But as they enter into the city, as Smeargle's turning a corner, Apom outstretches his tail, tripping Smeargle. Gold shouts, "You gotta be faster than that to get away from us." But as Smeargle bounds up and launches itself at Gold, Cynical creates a torrent of flames from its back, blocking Smeargle's path, causing Smeargle to go tail first into the flames. Gold saying, "No you don't." Smeargle cries out in pain, having burnt its tail. Gold then commands Poliwag and Sunkern, saying, "Sunbow, Polibow, finish it." But Smeargle readies itself, smearing paint into Gold's eyes. As it runs, Gold shouts, "I can't see. Where'd it go?" Suddenly, there's a crowd all around him, with one man saying, "Say, are you okay, kid?" Gold, still blinded and trying to wipe his eyes, says, "That stupid thing tricked me. I will never catch it." The man says, "Listen, kid, you had a tough opponent, but I saw some impressive teamwork amongst your Pokemon." Gold questions, "Really?" The man says, "I produce a radio show, Pokemon Talent Roundup." Oh, wait, this feels familiar. Is this the guy who produces DJ Mary? Because the radio center was a big important part of the plot line. I happen to be on my way to broadcast the next episode right now. How would you like to be on it? As Gold and the producer head to the radio station, the producer says, "This is our broadcast headquarters." Gold says, "I can't believe my luck. Not only am I going to make some money, but I do believe this is the same radio station where DJ Mary does her show with that oak guy." Oak guy. He's an oak guy. Which means I'm going to actually get to meet her. As the producer leads Gold up the stairs, he points around the corner saying, "The studio's in here." As Gold makes his way up, he says, "I'm here." But he looks through a window, noticing the Smeargle on a stool. Gold presses his face up against the glass, saying, "You again." He goes through, knocking on the door, trying to open it, saying, "You're going to be sorry you ever painted my face." Someone comes over, tries to stop him, saying, Hey, cut that out." "Oh, it's DJ Mary." And we see that DJ Mary is in a bit of a production already, saying, "I'm DJ Mary, and I'll be your host. My guest today is Whitney." Oh god. "Gym leader for Goldenrod, huh?" And she hears the banging. She says, "What's going on out?" But the door suddenly opens as Gold falls to the floor, and DJ Mary screams. Whitney turns to Gold, saying, "What do you think you're doing? You know this goof, Mary?" Mary, holding what seems to be her Smeargle, says, "Never seen him before." Gold is shocked, saying, No, it can't be. That face-painting pest can't belong to DJ Mary." Meanwhile, over in New Barktown, Joey, goes over to Elm's radio, saying, "Mind if I play the radio, Professor? It's DJ Mary's show." Where suddenly Gold's voice comes over, saying, "No, it's gotta be the other chick. Tell me it's hers." And Joey is taken aback, saying, It sounds like him, but surely it can't." Whitney says, "Listen, you moron." And Gold interrupts, saying, "My name happens to be Gold Lady." And Joey just slumps his head down low, saying, "It can." Elm saying, "Somehow I don't think he's being very careful." And thus the production goes off the air. And the producer says, "What do you people think you're doing? Are you trying to destroy this show?" Mary sighs as Whitney and Gold point to each other, saying, "You started it." The producer says, "I don't care." Suddenly, an assistant runs in saying, "Sir, listeners are calling in by the hundreds." The producer says, "You see, complaints." The assistant says, "Actually, most of them were along the lines of, this lineup is hot, and why don't you let them battle for real?" The producer is taken aback as Whitney and her milk tank smile big. Whitney saying, "Well, if that's what they want, I'm more than happy to give it to them. I gave oh god, that name, to DJ Mary. If you have a problem with that, we'll settle it on the air." Gold says, "Hey, the bigger the stage, the better I fight." Mary turns away from them to the producer saying, "Stop it, both of you. Sir, how do we make them stop this?" Producer takes a moment and then says, "I think what this needs is a 2-hour special." Much to the shock of DJ Mary. Cut to the next day, where there's a big to-do going on. The announcer, alongside Mary, says, "You demanded it, you've got it. Gold the mystery boy versus our local gym leader, Whitney." Oh, Mary thinks to herself, "I can't believe this." Hey, it's ratings, baby. The announcer says, "They'll follow Pokemon battle race rules from Goldenrod City through the National Park to the goal, the Route 37 roadside, and of course, battling along the way. We'll provide complete live coverage through our mobile broadcast vans. This program is brought to you by the Bike Shop to celebrate their new Goldenrod City headquarters." The Bike Shop. The bike. One of the greatest things ever introduced to Pokemon. And once you get it, it is just like, travel has become so easy. And fast travel is great and all, but ain't nothing like riding on that bike. Dude, even when I got to stuff like Golden's Sword and Shield, riding on that bike over all these different terrains, I know the ride Pokemon were cool and all, but just never my cup of tea. No, I like riding on the Pokemon. I like having that option, but I want to have that option to also, if I just want to ride on my bike, I can. I love riding bikes, both reality and in-game. Whitney, brandishing her bike with the Smeargle next to her, says, "Okay, I'm ready when you are. And I'm borrowing Smacemay, right, Mary? This is Smacemay's fight, too. But your Smacemay's a little shit." Gold brandishes his skateboard, saying, "I'll fight anybody, but why do I have to ride a bike? I should be pushing a board, not pedals. It's not fair." The producer brandishes a new bike, saying, "Sorry, our sponsors make bike, and they want to hear us talk about their product." Which, I mean, yeah, that's just how it goes. Sorry, buddy. Gold looks to the bike, saying, "Their logo." And then he starts tinkering with the bike, saying, "Then how about this?" The producer says, Whoa, what are you doing?" And he is actually made a scooter. I used to have one of those back in the day. Oh, man. From bikes to scooters, oh, man. New brand? Oh, man, dude, get the brand deal on that. It'd be cool to be able to ride that around in the game. Cole says it's still got 2 wheels, right? My own wheel. The producer looks to it saying, "Oh, yes, that counts. Nothing in the rule says that don't work." Gold turns to Whitney saying, "So let's get this going." The producer says, "Okay, on your mark, get set, go." And, God, Whitney immediately has her milk tank use roll out. Mill, roll out. And just baps into Gold in his A-bomb. Gold says, "This is too soon." While Whitney recalls her milk tank, she says, "I just got you, loser." And she takes I love Whitney. She's just like, "Oh, screw you." She ain't taking none of that guff. As Whitney takes off, Gold grows angry, saying, "Wait up." And he takes off on his scooter. The producer says, "Van 2, stay with him." Van 2 says, "Got him." The producer then says, "Van 3, head up Route 37 and wait." Van 3 says, "Actually, sir, we have a problem. We're at Route 37, but we can't get through." The producer questions, "Why not?" Oh God, it's so big. Why is it so big?" Van 3 says, "There's an odd tree in the middle of the road, and I swear it wasn't here yesterday." Why is that so big? That's terrifying. That's terrifying. All right, we pick up in chapter 106. How do you do, Sudowoodo? As Misty is Misty, because she's on the bike and she's very abrasive in this version. Gold is still trying to catch up to Whitney, saying, wait. Oh, Whitney says, has that line ever actually worked for you? The announcer says, the Pokemon battle race is underway. Whitney is displaying all her experience, jumping out to an early lead. And she's got 2 Pokemon, Smeargle and Miltank, running right alongside her. But Gold is closing in. The kid's good on a skateboard. They're about to enter. What? The announcer seeing the Van 3 blocked off by the giant tree. Whitney saying, what's the big idea? Who put that stupid tree there? He races over to the guy in Van 3 saying, I had this race won. Whose fault is this? The Van 3 guy says, not mine, not mine. Gold sees this going on saying, what the... Is that a tree? Whitney's shocked, saying, you see, he got up. I'm surrounded by idiots. Oh, man, this is not the sweet Whitney I'm used to. This is the version of Whitney that we all feel that she always was. A demon. Whitney sends out her Miltank saying, I'll just have to take care of it myself. He commands Miltank to use rollout on the tree and it does not budge. Whitney is worried saying, what kind of tree is that? This. Gold says, I'll show you how it's done. Expo Ember. And Cyndaquil does just that. And it does nothing. Gold saying, like you said, what kind of tree is this? Am I supposed to win with that thing in the way? Whitney says, that's my line. Gold commands his Pokemon saying, time to go all out. Abo, Sunbow, Polibow. I'm noticing a pattern with the way he names a lot of his Pokemon. Apom, Poliwag. Oh, actually, Poliwag should affect it. And Sunkern attack. Yeah, and it's Poliwag's attack that seems to do something. Gold thinks weird. The only thing it reacted to was Polibow's water attack. Suddenly, there's a sudden shaking, much to the shock of Whitney and Gold. Gold questions, are those footsteps? Now what? Oh, Jesus. And suddenly, a Rhyhorn just comes walking out of the forest. What the heck? A Rhydon. Much to the shock of Gold and Whitney. The announcer saying, first an indestructible tree blocking the route, now a wild Pokemon. And as the Rhydon approaches the weird tree, Gold says, is it looking for something? Whitney says, don't just stand there, idiot. That's Rhydon. It'll crush you without batting an eye. You have to strike first. Oh, she's going for the attack? Oh, dang. Miltank grapples with the Rhydon, but then Rhydon catches sight of Whitney and then just grabs her. At first I thought it was choking her out, but yeah, Gold calls out to Whitney, and Whitney is carried away by the Rhydon. The announcer saying, our gym leader's been kidnapped by a wild Rhydon. This rating's Gold. DJ Mary calls out, save her. And the announcer says, the race is off. All vans, get Rhydon. And all the vans take off as Gold coughs from all the dust that was kicked up. Gold says, where do you think you're going without Gold? The girl has just been kidnapped, buddy. But then he notices the tree shaking again. He says, huh? Shaking again, same as before. He then brings up Poliwag saying, hey Poliwag, do that same water gun again. Poliwag does just, oh, and then the tree shrinks. Okay, so he was making it himself bigger. Okay. Oh, okay. I wasn't ready to deal with our Gigantamax Sudowoodo. Gold brings out his Pokédex saying, wait a minute, you mean you're a Pokemon? And Sudowoodo nods. As Gold looks at the entry, he says, man, that was the best tree imitation I've ever seen. But what's the big idea? You hiding from something? Oh, a crazy Rhydon. Are you what it was after? Sudowoodo nods, which I actually like that. Sudowoodo wasn't in the way just to be a jerk. Gold says, geez, now I feel bad. I mean, if we just left you alone and waited, it could have saved you a lot of stress. So what happens when that Rhydon comes after you again? Sooner or later, you're gonna have to stand up to it. Sudowoodo just seems nervous. He's not the confrontational type. Gold says, what are you afraid of? You brush off all our attacks. You're a total hero. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to save you from yourself. You're gonna learn how to fight. Sudowoodo is taking a little bit aback, but he seems to be down. This is such a Pokemon series kind of plot line. The kind of plot line that you wouldn't really see in the games, but it's totally at home in something like the anime and manga, where it's just like, hey, a Pokemon in need? Let's help the thing out. Oh, did he catch it? I guess so. Huh, we didn't even get to see the moment he did it. I guess Sudowoodo just decided, hey, I'll stick with you, if nothing else. Gold on his scooter manages to catch up with the vans chasing behind the Rhydon who has Whitney, which Whitney has had one heck of a couple of days. Gold says, there, now get this through your head. You're strong enough to brush off Milk Tank's best attack. You've got nothing to fear. Sudowoodo inside the Pokeball nods. Gold tells him, I'm going to shoot your Pokeball as close to it as I can. The instant you hit the ground, pop out and hit Rhydon before it realizes it's you. You can only do this once, so do it. And he launches Sudowoodo with his cue stick towards Rhydon, and Sudowoodo pops on out and just decks Rhydon. Just bam! Rhydon drops Whitney and it goes down like nothing. Gold says, much better. He then cut back to the radio station where Gold says, yeah. The race may be canceled, but the winner's clear. I mean, who moved the immovable tree, huh? And who had to rescue his opponent? Whitney, who seems to have gotten a broken arm. Was it when she was dropped? When did she break her arm, the poor girl? Whitney says, you got lucky. Gold then goes over and pulls on Smeargle's face, saying, I guess I deserve a little respect, eh, Smeargle? Smeargle then paints his face with his tail. As Gold says, huh? Hey, yeah, you cheesy little... And he gets into a fight. Hit the Smeargle. Meanwhile, DJ Mary is signing autographs, saying, Gold, how many autographs did you say? God. Gold kind of feels like a menace. He feels like a whole menace. Like fighting with the Smeargle, humiliating Whitney, and now Mary's just signing these myriad of autographs. And angry Whitney says, next time, punk, we're gonna have a real match. And I'd say that she should be glad that he helped her, but at the same time, he's such a friggin' cheesy little bastard. I wouldn't want to thank him either. Next we cut to Gold outside saying, okay, now that I've got some cash, I'm going to the game corner. But then Sudowoodo approaches, the Gold turning to the silent creature, I swear. And sometimes Sudowoodo draws the line between this thing's friggin' creepy and, oh, he's kind of cute. Gold gives a smile back to Sudowoodo saying, you want to come with us, huh? Oh, okay. Sudowbo, why does he name all of his Pokemon like that? What is the context to the bow on the last part of their names? I don't understand. Is it a Japanese thing? He's now up to 5 Pokemon. As Gold gives a smile to the newest addition to the team. I gotta tell you, Gold's team is weird. Gold's team is friggin' weird. Alright, in Goldenrod City, in the Goldenrod game corner, we see various people playing games. Because the gambling got phased out of the Pokemon games. Where, hey, we see Gold in his natural element playing some pool. And he has a nice break with the, pool that he's playing. I don't know the terminology. I'm a fake fan of pool. In chapter 107, Gligar Glide. Gold manages to sink dang near every bowl. As the people watching say, that kid's incredible. Gold, getting a little full of himself, says, oh, it's nothing. But as the ball is moving in very unnatural ways, someone says, look at that. How does a ball curve like that? It's unreal. In fact, isn't it a little too unreal? Suddenly, the cue ball starts to rip apart. Gold says, oh no, as we see that in truth. Really, he's a little cheater. It was Apalm in disguise, much to the shock of the people. It says, to say, you disguise a Pokeball as a pool ball? Oh, those moves were from that thing? Gold says, clever, huh? And he's promptly kicked out with his Pokemon. Gold, you're a good player. You didn't need to cheat. This kid, he's so self-destructive. Gold says, some people can't take a joke. Suddenly, there's a ringing on his Pokegear as he says, I call him my Pokegear? Maybe it's that picnic girl. She totally dug me. Gold, it's moments like these that make me be like, our protagonist, everyone. And in truth, it's Professor Elm, much to Gold's shock. As Elm says, well, Gold, I heard you on the radio the other day, having fun. Gold says, Professor, Elm asks, what's the status of your Pokemon team at present? Gold says, Expo, that's your Cynical, is doing great. I thought that was weird because I'm like, wait, the way he phrases that, but then I had to remember he still considers Cyndaquil Elm's Pokemon and not fully his to a degree. For Abo the Apom, Polybo the Poliwag, Sunbo the Sunkern, and a new one, Sudowbo the Sudowoodo. Oh, and the egg. It's, well, still an egg. Elm says, good, the egg is why I'm calling. Even I don't know what kinds of changes it may go through. Promise me you'll keep a very close eye on it. And he hangs up. Gold thanks, geez, bossy. We then cut to night where the Hoot are bound as Gold is in his side of his sleeping bag. I love how Sudowoodo goes into its giant tree form in order to sleep, and the Pokemon just sleep under it. Gold nuzzles up with the egg, saying, an egg, huh? Wish I knew what Pokemon it was. Maybe something really strong, one that can beat any Pokemon with one punch? Yeah, right. And he falls asleep, dropping the egg, which rolls away. And then a Gligar comes in and takes it. And only Apom is the one to notice. Oh boy. And this is why we don't take it out of the bag. As Gligar makes off, all the other Pokemon realize what's going on as well. Is it their time to shine? It's like the one chapter where Pikachu was taking care of what was the Pokemon Pikachu was taking care of? I actually don't remember that little chapter where Pikachu was taking care of a Pokemon for Yellow. I don't know why I can't. Oh, Caterpie, that's what it was. Apom tries to stir Gold, and Gold just in his sleep says, no, not hungry, and he turns over, dropping his Pokédex, which still gets the entry of Gligar. Apom sees this, and all of the Pokemon take off. Apom dashes through the trees, managing to catch up with Gligar, but he didn't watch the stinger, as he's incapacitated with one poke to the head. Gligar goes to the water, and Poliwag comes leaping out, only for Gligar to swat it away. Gligar goes up to a tree, and goes in to try to start eating the egg, only for the tree to be in truth Sudowoodo. I love that trick. It is so much more visually interesting in the manga, where Sudowoodo manages to grab onto Gligar. All the other Pokemon move in, with Cyndaquil cooking Gligar, but everyone realizes that the egg is getting cooked too, telling Cyndaquil to stop. But because of this confusion, Gligar manages to get out of Sudowoodo's grasp. As Gligar manages to duck behind a tree, it goes in again to try to eat the egg, only for Sunkern from the top rope to come in and just bash Gligar on the head. But, oh god, the egg starts to crack because of the impact of Gligar being hit from behind and smacking into the egg. Sunkern is shocked. I love chapters like this. We get to see their personality. As all the others go over to the Pokédex, it reads, sounds can be heard coming from inside. It will hatch soon. Okay. But Gligar tries to go for the egg again, but the Pokemon notice that the egg, it's a rumbling, and much to their shock, it hatches into Togepi. Gligar is at the ready. Togepi makes a few dance moves, and then bites Gligar in the stomach, much to the shock of the other Pokemon. Gligar gets pissed and tries to claw at Togepi. Togepi is knocked back, but this Togepi is built of sterner stuff than Misty's Togepi. Togepi recovers. Metronome? Yep, sure enough. I know that wiggling hand motion anywhere. As the Pokédex reads, metronome, wagging a finger and simulates the brain into randomly using any move. It seems like Gligar, he don't want that smoke and he tries to take off, only to be hit by, what is that, Psywave? I don't know what attack that is. But Togepi hits Gligar and hard. Gligar hits the ground, but it causes Togepi to be flung towards Gold, bumping him on the head and waking him up. We then cut to Goldenrod City Pokemon Center, where Gold is telling Elm, oh, it was nothing. Seriously, nothing. Elm says nothing, raising the egg's level until it hatched. Gold thinks to himself, may as well take credit. Elm says, show me what this newly hatched Pokemon can do. Gold says, sure thing, as he turns to, oh god. Oh no! It's picked up on all of Gold's traits. Oh no! Togepi unloads Gold's backpack, brings out the Q-stick, hits the Pokeballs with the Q-stick, and then pulls out some cards and starts dealing. Oh no! Oh no! And it's doing craps! It's playing dice! He's a gambling man. He turned into a gambling man. Elm sees it saying, pool? Dice? Cards? What have you done? And Gold thinks, yeesh, I've been taking it to Game Corner since it was an egg. And Elm says, you've turned this Pokemon into a delinquent. That's one bad Togepi. It's great. Out in the woods, Gold says to his Pokemon, shoot, as if it's not bad enough being yelled at. Now I've got to go through this too. Elm tells him, you will take it to the old couple at the Pokemon daycare. As Gold takes off with the Pokemon, he says, guess where they discovered it in the first place. Oh well, if we gotta, we gotta. As he's checking his Poke gear, he says, just too bad we gotta backtrack. South of Goldenrod, he said, yeah, I hate backtracking. Suddenly, there's a rustling in the brush behind him, and something leaps out. Gold seeing, oh, little baby Pokemon. These ones I'm not too familiar with. Hold on. Smoochum, Igglybuff, Cleffa, and Magby. Yeah, the baby Pokemon. Yeah, once we started getting introduced to pre-evolution, Smoochum is the pre-evolution of Jinx, I believe. Igglybuff, which I always forget about Igglybuff, is a pre-evolution of Jigglypuff. Cleffa is the pre-evolution of Clefairy. And Magby is the pre-evolution of Magmar, which I still can't get over Magmar's final evolution, which is Magmortar, because I just hate the face of Magmortar. Oh god, Magmortar's face. It looks so derpy. Gotta hate when an evolutionary line just ends at a place where you're like, ooh. Gold says, who are all these little ones? And an old lady comes out saying, oh, wait. Gold says, and an old lady. This must be the Pokemon daycare. The old lady turns to Gold, glaring, saying, how dare you call me an old lady, you young ruffian? Gold says, what else are you? The old lady says, to make up for your rudeness, help me catch them and hurry. And she shoves Gold off, and he and his Pokemon chase behind the Poke Babies. Cut to the Pokemon daycare, where the elderly man says, good thing for us, eh, sweetie? If this lad hadn't come around, we would have lost them all. The fence broke down, and they were running all over. Very glad you were passing by. An exhausted Gold says, those things are... The old lady says, Professor Elm told us you'd be coming. The old man says, oh, and are you that Gold boy? Well, we're the daycare couple we're looking for. I hear you hatched that egg we found, eh? Good job. Elm thought maybe we'd be able to figure something out if we saw the critter, but, well... it's a mystery to us, too. Oh, and you even see the final evolutions. Togetic. That is the fun. No. Oh, right. Togetic had another evolution, which was Togekiss, which, yeah, I don't care for Togekiss either. I'm sorry if you like that Pokemon, but, and it's right next to Magmortar in the Pokedex, too. Yeah, I'm sorry. Togetic is alright. Not my favorite, but Togekiss is like, no, thank you. The old man says, we were taking care of two Pokemon that don't even know what they were. Suddenly they were gone and there was an egg. The birds and the bees. Gold says, what? The old man says, we keep watching to see if anyone else lays one, but no luck. So it really is kind of a rarity for Pokemon to produce an egg just in the presence of humans. Weird. Gold thinks to himself, geez, so nothing to report to Elm again. He then tells the couple, well, guess I'll be going. The old lady says, wait, you're at the famous Pokemon daycare. No better place for tips on raising them right. You can make those Pokemon of yours mighty strong. Gold, leans in saying, really? You don't have to ask me twice. The old lady says, I didn't think so. Well, Gold thinks to himself, this is my chance to shrink the gap between me and Silver fast. Well, the old lady thinks, I'm not getting any younger. I need all the help I can get to keep up with these Zannies. Did you say like Gen Zs? Well, the old man sees this thinking, so, another one caught in Grandma's web, eh? Ah, well, maybe I'd better give her a call. He picks up the phone. Oh, calling Janine, who says, hello? The old man says, it's me, the old fella from the daycare. Remember that mysterious egg we found? Well, it hatched. I'm looking at the little critter right now. Want to see it? Janine says, are you kidding? The man says, come anytime. Oh, not Janine, Jasmine, sorry. Oh, I feel so bad about that. I don't know why I had Janine on the mind. Jasmine says, cool. I'm on my way now. Gold is being escorted by the old lady, who says, come on, pick up your feet. Gold asks, where are we going? The old lady says, back door of the breeding center. Suddenly, Gold notices an open door, peeking aside, saying, huh? Oh, that's a lot of books. The old lady says, Grandpa's research library. Gold flips through one book saying, Pokemon League past winner. Poliwrath, huh? Whoa. Ah, it's a picture of Red. That's so cool. Not dissing Gold, but the further we move away from Red, the more I miss him. Gold pets Poliwag saying, Polibo, are you gonna look like this when you grow up? The old lady then says, take good care of Polyboo and it will. He then opens the door and slides it, saying, here we are, go on in. Gold enters, saying, kind of dark, isn't it? Suddenly the door shuts behind him. He turns, saying, huh? And as he looks out, he sees a horde of very ominous-looking Pokemon. Kangaskhan, Girafarig, Ekans, Donphan, Poliwrath, Tauros. The old lady says, you have to beat them all in battle by the end of the day, and I won't let you out until you do. Gold says, what? In chapter 108, Quilava Quandary, the Kangaskhan looms over him as Gold says, hey, wait a second, Grandma! And he runs from the Tauros. The old lady questions, what? Behind the bars. And as Gold grabs the bars, he says, who are these Pokemon? The old lady says, they're our elite fighters, perfect for training you up, so star. Gold brandishes a Pokeball with his cue stick, saying, not exactly what I had in mind, but I'll show you. The old lady then says, come over here first. Gold turns to her saying, what's up? And as he nears her, he grabs his goggles and cue stick, tossing them aside, saying, no toys allowed. Gold shouts, what are you doing? The old lady glares at him, saying, you're not telling me you can't fight without those gimmicks. Ooh, calling him out. Gold says, of course not. The old lady just reads him the riot act, saying, this is Pokemon training. You shouldn't rely on anything but their powers and your knowledge. Gold gives up, saying, okay, I got it. Powers and knowledge. Fine then, let's get in the zone. He takes off his jacket and loosens up his wrists, saying, and go. To see it as Pokemon charge towards the daycare Pokemon, the old lady says, oh dear, I don't think this will be finished today. As Gold is back to being chased by the Tauros, he dodges a stomp from Girafarig. As he says, these Pokemon are all veteran fighters. He dodges a tail whip from Ekans, saying, well, I'll show them. Expo, smokescreen, and Cyndaquil does just that. He then says, Togebo, metronome. And Togepi uses metronome through the smoke on Ekans. The old lady, though, says, not exactly what I'd call an impenetrable defense. Gold tells her, I know. You just gotta fight back. Expo, Ember. And Cyndaquil uses Ember, but it just bounces off of a rolling Donphan. Gold saying, it's not working. The old lady says, that's a ground type. Bring your fire type back and use a water type. Ooh, he's gotta learn type advantages. Yeah, he doesn't really understand that too well yet. And Red didn't understand that too much in the beginning, but he picked up on that a lot faster than Gold. Gold says, okay, Expo, back. The old lady says, if they try to move in close, hit them with a long-range attack before they're in position. He says, now, hit them with water gun. And Poliwag does just that against the Donphan, knocking it out. Gold pets Poliwag, saying, whoa, it worked. The old lady says, strength doesn't matter if your timing's right. Are you figuring out how to do this? And yeah, if you get the typing down, then even a strong opponent will fold like cardboard. Meanwhile, in Ecruteak City, Jasmine is walking through the streets with her Magneton. She sighs, saying, I wish Olivine and Ecruteak weren't so far apart. I wonder what kind of Pokemon came out of that egg. I can't wait to see it. Suddenly, the entire town starts to shake. The people saying, what? Earthquake? Oh, Jesus. Suddenly the ground underneath Jasmine opens up and she falls in. Oh, well, that was something. We cut back to Gold's battle. As Sudowoodo clashes with Primate, Gold says, here it comes, Primate's Cross Chop. Sudowoodo, Mimic. As Gold continues to race through the area, he says, I don't have anybody strong against fighting type. Yeah, watch out for those type weaknesses. The old lady says, remember, slow and steady. Gold pulls out his Pokédex, saying, I know. All the old lady says, and none of this smokescreen nonsense. Gold says, I know. As he cycles through the Pokédex, he says, if there was some way to boost our power. Yes, an attack that boosts fire attack. Sunbow, Sunny Day. And Sunkern uses Sunny Day, which helps to power up Cyndaquil. Gold says, now, Expo, Ember. And Cyndaquil sends out an Ember attack. The old man peeks in saying, how is it going, sweetie? The old lady grins saying, could be worse. Boy's got potential. I guess that's what Oak saw in him when he gave him the Pokédex. As they watch Cyndaquil fry Primate, the old lady says he's giving his Pokemon some useful practice and letting ours blow off some steam. While we old folks hardly have to lift a finger. I'd call that a neat trick. She giggles to herself. Gold and his Pokemon are starting to get tired. As the Gold says, hey Grandma. The old lady says, you're not giving up already. Gold says, no way, but isn't this kind of rough on my Pokemon? The old lady tells him this is what they've got to go through if they're going to get stronger. You do want them stronger. You do want to get them stronger. Gold says, sure I do, but just don't know if... But suddenly, Cyndaquil starts to vibrate. Ooh. Gold turns saying, Expo, what's wrong? As Cyndaquil evolves into Quailava, which, and it's adorable, but not my favorite. The old lady tells him, looks like it evolved into Quailava. Now, are you going to listen to me or not? Gold races to the old lady saying, Grandma, I'll follow you to the ends of the earth. The old lady says, you do that. The old man is taken aback as Gold rushes over to his Pokemon saying, now let's take care of the rest. The old lady says, that's the ticket. While the old man simply says, oh well. Suddenly, the radio reads out, this is an emergency broadcast. Ecruteak City has been hit by a major earthquake. The old man says, what? The radio report goes on saying, a complete evacuation is now underway. Stay tuned for further update. The old man is worried saying, Jasmine would have passed through Ecruteak. Grandma, what should we do? The old lady says, we don't know where she might be. You just got to wait to hear from her. The man panics, but the old lady notices something saying, oh, you're right. We have someone here who can help. As they look to Gold, who his Pokemon are starting to look a little bit more combat ready. You then cut to Gold entering into Ecruteak City. As he looks over the Destruction Witch, was there an earthquake in Ecruteak City? I don't really remember that. Like, Jabus. And I know there's a lot of landmarks that are pretty messed up, as it were, but I don't remember destruction like this. Then again, it's not like I remember Vermilion City getting blown up. It was Vermilion City, right? Wherever Lieutenant Surge's from. Gold looks around at the destruction saying, man, this is really bad. I just hope I could find this girl in the midst of all this. He flashes back to talking with the old couple who handed over a picture of the old man and Jasmine. The old lady says, we need you to search for her. Her name is Jasmine. Gold questions, but why me? The old lady tells him, you're right. It's probably more than you can handle. Gold gets angry saying, oh yeah, I'll show you what I can. She keyed in on how to get him to do what she says in a heartbeat. Bless this old woman. I need her to stick around. She knows how to get Gold's butt in gear. The old lady smiles saying, that's the spirit. I'd like to tell you that you've mastered your training, but honestly, these are just the basics. From here on out, you'll have to hone your skills on your own. Here, a reward for your hard work. The King's Rock. It may come in handy. Yeah, I remember the King's Rock. What did it go to? It's something you have your Pokemon hold, right? But what does it do? Hold on. Let me just look it up real quick. Oh, okay. It is a held item. Okay, I obviously did not know what this was. I didn't use it like this. Okay. Yeah, it causes Pokemon attacks to cause other Pokemon to flint. Okay, I get why they gave it to him now. I probably shouldn't have spoiled that for myself, but I thought I remembered more about it than I actually did. Let's see. It cut back to Gold in Ecruteak City, and there's a sudden another rumbling. It says, Aftershocks? We gotta hurry. As he turns to Quailava, Quailava nods, and they take off. Gold saying, come on, Expo. Oh, overhead is Silver riding on his Murkrow. Silver says the earth's been completely shattered. He brandishes his Sneasel and Crocodile. Crocodile. I don't know why I thought I got the name wrong. And he tells Murkrow, let's go, as he takes off. Alright, we see Janine in some building, which I don't know how she ended up in a building, but she seems to be trapped under some rubble. He says, did I call her Janine again? Jasmine. She says, I can't go any further. I thought it would be safer up here, but up here. He brings out an Ampharos. Okay, Ampharos. She named Ampy, saying, you lived in a lighthouse, right? Please let someone know I'm here. And we see in a nearby tower, the light gleaming. He ended up in a tower? In the top of a tower, too. Wait, which tower is that? Hickerteak City. Tin Tower? Yeah, Tin Tower. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Tin Tower and Brass Tower, also known as the Burn Tower and the Bell Tower. Okay. Chapter 109, Ampharos Amor. Gold looks at the light coming from the tower, saying, that light from the tower. Is someone there? This girl Jasmine wasn't at the evacuation site, and this area should be blacked out. So maybe he tries to head for it, but there's another rumbling, throwing him a little bit off. Gold looks around, saying, more aftershocks? The tower shifts. Gold says the tower looks like it's about to go down. Jasmine, still buried under rubble, regains consciousness, seeing Silver, saying, who are you? But she passes out again, Silver not saying anything. Gold races through the tower, saying, well then, we better be quick. Yo, anybody here? We gotta get to the top where the light was. Hey, I see it. And as he comes upon the source of the light, he sees Silver holding Jasmine next to her Ampharos. Gold, shielding his eyes from the light, says, Silver, what are you doing here? Silver sucks his teeth, saying, you again. Gold shouts, what are you gonna do with her? Silver tells him, I happened to find her, and I thought I'd help. He hands over Jasmine to Gold, as Gold says, you expect me to believe you'd help another? Hey. Silver says, fine, then you take her. And he goes to leave. So Gold saying, what? Gold then goes over to a nearby statue and seems to be trying to get some kind of reading. Gold looks up to the statue thinking, what's he up to? Sculptor of Pokémon? The plaque reads, Ho-Oh. Gold says. As the building starts to creak, Gold says, whoa, can't stand around here. He makes his way down the hole with Ampharos and Koilava following behind. As the walls begin to creak, Gold says, uh-oh, that sound. And the ceiling starts to cave in. Gold screams and races, still holding Jasmine. He says, the tower's coming apart. We gotta get out. But before he can be hit by some debris, Ursaring stops it. Gold says, Silver's Ursaring. Gold then sees an opening, saying the exit. Silver shouts out, don't just stand there. Get her out. Gold tosses Jasmine on Ampharos's back, saying, okay, carry her out. And Ampharos makes his way out with Jasmine on its back. Gold saying she made it, which is just in time as Ursaring strength gives out, and it can no longer hold the collapsing wall aloft. They managed, Ursaring and Gold managed to dodge out of the way just in time. Gold noticing, saying, but now we're trapped. As Silver recalls Ursaring. Gold looks around, saying, there's got to be another way out. We're just going to have to find it fast, that's all. Silver thinks to himself, it's sinking even faster than I thought. Gold, a chill runs down Gold's spine, saying, wish it wasn't so dark. Oh, Expo, light. And Koilava increases his flames. But Silver shocked, saying, idiot, we're in a sealed space. Fire will eat up all our oxygen. Why do you keep getting in my way? Well, Gold says, I just came to rescue the girl. I didn't want to see you. But suddenly there's a weird noise around them, much to their shock. Gold questioning, now what? Suddenly, oh, okay, I didn't know what that was, but a blast of dirt and rock just burst through the walls, bearing down on the two kids. Gold saying, the walls. Silver says, landslide, we'll be crushed. Gold says, no. Expo blasts through the ceiling, and Koilava and sends out a torrent of flames up to the ceiling, but it barely does anything. The dirt causes the boys to be pushed towards the ceiling. As Gold says, oh great, Silver, do something. Silver looks around, seeing something, thinking ice, but he then tells Gold, get out your water type Pokemon. What good is a water? Gold questions, what good is water going to do at a time like this? Silver brandishes his Pokeball, saying, it can pull up underground water. We'll use that force to escape. Gold says, right, Pokemon powers are tied to the powers of nature, so Gold brings out his Poliwag wearing the king's crown, and Silver brings out his Crocodile. Gold has Poliwag use squirt out water, saying, all the water you can. But as Silver face palms, Gold says, what's wrong with you? You may as well use a squirt gun. Oh, Silver said, you may as well use a squirt gun. We need a source of real power. And because it's wearing the king's crown, Poliwag starts to vibrate and evolves into a Politoed, sorry. Yeah, it's kind of weird because what's up with Gold's Pokemon? They have such weird eyes. And I know that Red's Poliwag and Politoed didn't look like this. So weird. Gold says, woohoo, it evolved. And though it's pressed up against the ceiling, Gold says, it's not working. It's too much even for Polibo. Silver calls out Gold, brandishing his Pokedex, saying, get it back in the bowl and raise your Pokedex. Gold questions, what? Silver says, do a trade. Hurry. Oh, a trade. Silver calls his Politoed, saying, I don't get it, but Polybo, return. Whatever you're planning had better be, but they're suddenly caught under the debris from the sinking tower's landslide. Oh, wait, what? Oh, does it evolve from trading? Oh, when traded while holding a King's Rock. Jeez, the conditions to evolve this Pokemon. Won't suddenly Silver, Gold, and their Pokemon burst out because of Politoed, using Whirlpool at Silver's command. Gold says, Polybo evolved again? But it's not Poliwrath? They hit the ground hard, well, Gold does, right on his butt. While Silver says, well, Gold says, what did you just do? Silver, landing perfectly, says, it's a trade evolution. This Pokemon has 2 final forms. For water power, Politoed is best. Really? Oh, I guess because Poliwrath is more fighting, and Politoed is more just pure water. Interesting. Gotta love a branch evolution. Gold says, what? Silver pushes Gold aside, saying, I don't have time to give you a Pokemon lesson. Haven't I told you not to get involved? Gold says, hey, get back here. But Silver examines something on the ground, thinking, a drop in ground level this huge can't be natural. It's got to be the work of a Pokemon, and not a wild one either. And those ice columns in there, ice coming out of the ground and ice. But suddenly, Gold and Silver are surrounded by some very familiar looking figures. Gold questioning, who in the... And sure enough, a Team Rocket and a Rocket executive steps forward, saying they said the town was evacuated. So what are these kids doing in the Tin Tower? Gold shouts, Team Rocket! In Chapter 110, Swine Wine. Gold shouts, I've been wanting another shot at you. The executive says, so they know us. Since they've seen us here, what must we do? The female executive says, we can't let them walk away and tell, can we? They send out their Pokemon, Cubone, Laden, Drowsy, saying assume battle positions. All the Pokemon strike out at Gold, who barely manages to get out of the way. He shouts, hey Silver, we're sitting targets out here. Hey, stupid! The Silver doesn't budge. Gold says there's gotta be 30 of them. What are they gonna do with a force like this? Silver says they've already done it. The destruction of Eckertique was a gift from these Team Rocket thugs. Gold questions, what? The executive says, so you know that too, eh? Who are you? Wait, I've heard about a kid with red hair. You're the one who meddled with us in New Barktown, at that slowpoke well in Azalea. Don't underestimate this punk. Take him out now. And Team Rocket has their Pokemon attack, but then they're suddenly knocked back to the shock of the admin. It's Gold and it's Quailava. Gold saying, you know, I thought somebody might have interfered in my battle with Silver back in New Barktown, so it was you guys. Even more reason not to like you. Let's take him, Silver. Which, I love that. You know, it's starting to really feel like Gold is a little bit more ready to fight. He's not as experienced as he needs to be, but he's gotten a lot more capable. Silver says, will you just stay out of my fight? Gold shouts back, this is my fight. The admin tells him, we'll just destroy you both at the same time. Or maybe you're forgetting what we can do. The admin points his finger to the sky and suddenly the area starts to rumble. Gold says, oh man, another quake? Silver tells him, it's here. Whatever caused the earth movement. Is it a wish cast? No, this is too early for Wishcat. The ground gives way underneath Gold, and as he looks into how everything is crumbling, he says, look out. Oh, it's a Polyswine, right. The chapter was titled after it. But a freaking Polyswine is doing this? Like, Jesus. As Polyswine bursts from the earth, Gold says, it's huge. It then chases down Gold and Silver. Gold shouting, and it's fast too. The executive says, run all you want. That giant Polyswine is the last thing you'll ever see. Gold calls over to Silver. You're saying this thing caused the earthquake? Silver tells him, I am. Ice and ground, 2 types united in the Polyswine. But even I didn't realize how big the things can get. Gold says, great, but we can't just keep running. As he branches his Pokédex, he says, Polibo, water gun. But Polybo doesn't seem to listen. Oh, because it's not his Pokemon anymore. Did they trade back? And what did he get in exchange? Gold says, what's the matter, Polybo? The Rocket grunts around him, saying, this kid's even lamer than the redhead. Silver says, I'll leave these guys to you. Gold questions, you what? As Silver uses his Murkrow to fly above the giant Polyswine, the admin laughs, saying, take down, rock smash. It has the power to shatter the earth under the whole city, and it's going to keep crashing the ground until you've got nowhere to stand. Then we'll see how long your Pokemon can carry you. Silver says, think so. But you know what happens, don't you, when the ground gets shaken badly enough? It's called liquefaction. Yes, science! As Silver has his Polytoad use Whirlpool, which draws in Napoliswine. The admin says, hey, no way. Silver tells him when shockwaves make solids behave like liquids. Okay, had to figure out how to read that. The admin turns saying, all forces, lead the other kid. We've got to. And Gold has managed to take out all the grunts. Off screen. Yeah, we knew where the real money shot was, though. It's watching Silver do his thing. Gold, having taken down the grunt, says, sorry, I gotta beat them all. The admin says, what? Gold tells him, hey, Silver said he was leaving them to me, so I guess you're next. The admin tells him, do you honestly think you've won? All forces, get the rest of your Pokemon ready. But the female admin says, no, you can't get in any deeper. We've attacked the Tin Tower as planned. If we're right about the instincts of Ho-Oh, then our mission has already been completed. Oh, they're trying to draw out Ho-Oh, of course. Team Rocket, always after the legendary. Both Gold and Silver think Ho-Oh. The male admin says, all forces retreat, and the members all take off, Gold shouting, hey, wait, getting sick of this. But Silver looks over the destruction, thinking, why would Team Rocket attack Ecruteak City? But Gold then points his Pokedex into Silver's face, saying, hey, give me back my Polybow. That was a loan, not a gift. No wonder it wouldn't listen to me. Silver brings out his Pokedex, saying, looks like you've gotten better. As the trade happens, Gold says, you could tell, huh? Guess that daycare training was worth it. As the Gold now has his Polytoad back, he pets it, saying, welcome back, Polybow. But what was the trade, though? What did he trade in exchange? Gold then says, by the way, Silver, who's Ho-Oh? It was in the sculpture in the tower. That Team Rocket jerk just said it. And I saw a definite reaction to the name from you. What's this all about? Silver doesn't respond. Gold says, he came here for a reason, I know it. Well, I don't need to know that, but at least answer me this. Whenever you battle, it seems like it's just to accomplish something, part of some plan. Have you ever really enjoyed a Pokemon battle? Silver grows angry, saying, what? Gold brings out his Pokedex, saying, you heard me. We've both got a Pokedex and a Pokemon from Professor Elm. That's about as fair as a playing field as you're ever going to find. What do you say? As Gold brings out his Quailava, Silver smiles, brandishing his Pokedex, saying, a challenge? Interesting. Ooh. I kinda like this moment. Oh, cut to the evacuation zone, where Jasmine awakens, questions, where am I? Doctor says, don't worry. You're at the evacuation shelter, which, man, this feels a little too real. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen a city destroyed before, but dang. Her Ampharos worries over her as Jasmine calls out her Amphi. The people around her say that this means people are still alive out there. We'll wait for daylight and send out a rescue party. Jasmine suddenly just jolts up, saying, what about the people who rescued me from inside the tower? The doctor says, no, you shouldn't get up. Another man says, the people who saved you. This Ampharos is the one who carried you here. Jasmine thinks, then was it a dream? No, it's hazy, but I do remember 2 young guys who risked their lives to rescue me from the crumbling tower. He then asks another person, what about the area around the Tin Tower? The man says it's been closed off until morning and no one should be there now. Detective Jasmine says, oh, I see. Meanwhile, with Gold and Silver, they look for a good spot as Gold says, this looks good. Already totally destroyed anyway. He then brings out all his Pokemon, saying, okay then, we're in luck. The emergency power is still working. First, we better heal our Pokemon. Oh, a destroyed Pokemon Center. Let's use 6 Pokemon each. We can do tag team mode. Huh? How come you've only got 5? Silver says, I'm giving you a 1 Pokemon handicap. Although I could probably give you a 4 and still win. Gold gets angry, saying, you talk big. Well, it's time to stop talking and fight. Which is where we'll end this video. This was actually, oh man, I'm just glad about this, because you have some chapters that are fine, well enough, but the stuff that really just pushes my buttons the most is when we encounter Silver. He is such a driving factor in this whole storyline, because it's the essence of that shape. You know, it's not the same as with Red and Blue. It was great when they encountered each other, but you know, that was a nice little surprise on top of everything else. But because it is such a driving factor in how Gold and Silver just exist, it's just like, man, I'm always fascinated to see what's going to happen next. How is Silver going to factor into things? How much will Gold learn? The more that Gold learns, the more intrigued he becomes by Silver. And Silver, he's now starting to take notice of Gold. He's now like, okay, you feel worthy now. And do I think that Gold will win? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Gold might still lose this, but it might be close. But I don't know. And man, that destruction of Ecruteak City. Where was Morty in all of this? Because I've been looking through things and it's like, wait a minute, this is Morty's territory. What's going on here? Yeah, it's just, I really do find myself wondering, like, what's he doing? What's he up to? Or is he one of the bad trainers? Gym leaders, I should say. Because so far, we haven't seen any bad gym leaders. Well, out and out right bad, but that might be on the way too, you know? I hate that Jasmine didn't really get to be a part of all of this. She was mostly just a damsel in distress, but at the same time I'm interested to see how she might factor in things later down the line. But we continue to see that, you know, Silver, he's dismissive and he does some bad stuff here and there, but you know, nothing he does, at least in terms of other people, comes out of malice. But I'm interested to see how things go forward, because even though I know where a lot of this is headed, Silver just fascinates me. He was interesting in the games, but the way they write him here, he is just too compelling to me, and I can't wait to get more. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and hope to see you later. So then, take care. Bye-bye.